Hey YouTube, Suboxone withdrawal day 30. I just wanted to touch on some stuff. First of all, let me just say this. For the last couple of days, I've been kind of sketchy, and what I mean by that is that I have been going through a little bit of pause. I recognize it for what it is, and I'm okay with it. I mean, it's a little bit of depression, but I can deal with it. What I've learned about pause is that normally we go through the acute stage from day 1 to roughly about day 15 to 30. One of the things that I've learned about pause is that oftentimes on the 30th day, and it's so funny because it's very specific, is that, first of all, let me turn the light on so you guys can see me a little bit better. What I've learned is that on day 30, I don't know why it is like this, but basically day 30 is when your dopamine plummets back to 0. Your brain, my brain, our brains are still trying to reach a level of homeostasis. And again, our dopamine is beginning to produce again on its own, but because it's not sure what to produce, it takes a little bit of time for it to reach that normal level. They say that pause normally peaks at around 6 months. And so basically 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you're going to go through periods of maybe a little bit of depression and some anxiety and even some lethargy. That is completely normal. I don't want you guys to stress yourselves out. That's just a normal part of the process. I promise you it will resolve itself. Don't get discouraged. Be encouraged, because you know what? Your brain is healing. You've gotten through the worst of it. The worst part is going through the acute stage when your legs are going crazy and your arms are going crazy and you just feel this intense anxiety. You feel like you're wearing a lead suit. It is what it is. In the very beginning we have the runs and, we're running fevers and our bodies are aching and, it's just a normal part of the process. But this is stage 2, okay? It does get better and it doesn't have to last. One of the tips that I'm going to give you is that, our bodies go through something called adrenal fatigue. And basically what happens is that when we expose ourselves to stress, and this is why I'm going to say this, try to keep yourselves in a place where you're not stressed out. If you find yourself in a situation that can be stressful, figure out a way to get away from that stress, okay? Because you're going to suffer for it. I'm learning at this point, and I've learned, I've been learning for a long time, but just going through this process, the best you can do is to avoid. Because again, guys, this isn't about other people. It's about you. This is your life. It's not their lives. It's your life. So it doesn't matter what they do. It matters how you choose to respond or react to that. And remember, stress is going to send you into a very bad place. So again, I've learned the benefit of just trying to avoid any kind of stress at all costs, okay? Secondly, somebody had asked me a question about what I did during the day when I started going through this process. And I don't really know how to answer that. And I say that because each one of us are different. I'm a Star Trek fan. I love Star Trek, especially Star Trek Voyager. It was something very familiar to me. It's something that, I really like to watch. And it's something that, reminds me of, I don't know, just gives me continuity. So I watched, Star Trek constantly. I watched other movies that made me feel really good. On the days that I had a little bit of energy, I tried to do basic stuff like washing the dishes, sweeping the floors, cleaning the bathroom. And again, I did it in stages. It's not like I felt like I had to get it all done at one time. The purpose of this process is just doing what you can do when you can do it. Don't feel like you're obligated to go out of your way and do all of this crazy stuff just because you would normally do that while you were on the drugs. Remember, the point is you're off the drugs and you're trying to stay off the drugs, and that it's going to come back in stages. The energy levels are going to come back. You need to give yourselves a break. Don't be afraid of this. Remember that at the end of this, you have your life back. I'm able to function on a level that, on the drugs, I was never able to function like. I'm able to think in terms that are very linear, which means straight lines, rather than cyclical, which is round and around and around. On the drugs, Suboxone particularly, I was feeling a lot of anxiety, and again, the thought process was very cyclical. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The other thing that I want to touch on is, what else did he ask me? Oh, the food thing. I kept a lot of eggs in the house. Because it was a quick fix. It was a good source of amino acids. It was a really good source of, all different kinds of minerals and vitamins that you really need in your body. So eggs was a quick fix. I wouldn't suggest eating them like that for the rest of your life, but 10 minutes, you got, scrambled eggs. You can fry an egg. That'll take maybe 5 minutes. Get some bread, and use that as a meal supplement. Other things that I would suggest is, again, black beans, in the can. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy this, black beans in the bag, because you have to soak them. It's just a really long process. So again, you're getting a little bit less of the nutrients, but again, it's just a temporary fix. You want to do things that are going to be really easy. Salads, make sure that you buy spinach, because spinach is considered a superfood. It's cheap. It's easy. You can make a quick salad. What I was doing was making spinach salads with, romaine lettuce. And of course, I would put apples in it, just to kind of give it a little bit of extra flavor. Onions, carrots. I've talked about carrots in earlier videos, because carrots clean your liver. You want to make sure that you're eating a lot of leafy greens, a lot of carrots, nuts, grains, things like that are going to be easy, that you can throw together. If you're worried about really cooking and maybe cooking eggs is too much, go to the store, buy yourself some microwave meals. Make sure that they're vegetable based. And again, once you get past the 3rd, 4th, 5th day, you're going to have a little more energy. So you might feel a little more, ambitious to cook yourself something extra. So that's a really big deal. You got to think about your health. Make sure that you have apples, oranges, bananas, things like that, honeydew, watermelon, things that are going to be really healthy for you, that are going to sustain you. And again, they're easy, they're quick fixes. If you're going to eat the beans and you want a perfect protein, what you're going to want to do is mix those beans with rice. If you're going to get rice, don't get the white rice. Make sure that they're whole grain rice. It's not only going to create a perfect protein, but it's also going to be beneficial in the way that it's a whole grain food. You don't want white rice, because they remove the husks off of it, and it's just not good from what I understand about it. But again, this is a process. It's not always, a perfect science, and everybody's got different interests. So, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really interested in doing anything, especially for the first 5 days. I laid around as much as possible. One of the reasons I laid around, and you've got to give yourself permission to lay around, is because, if you get tired, even if it's just like a 10-minute cat nap, that's going to be a huge benefit to your body. Oftentimes when we're sleeping, that's when our bodies do the greatest repairs to itself. So I grabbed sleep wherever I could, and laying down gave me the benefit of, if I felt tired in that moment, I could sleep, even if it was just for a minute. That was hugely important to me. Don't feel like you have to get all of this stuff done. Give yourselves a chance to just get through this. Look, guys, there were times that I would take it second by second, minute by minute. It's not easy in the beginning, and you just got to give yourself a break and permission to just lay around. Nobody said this is easy. You're escaping a really nasty addiction, a very nasty addiction. All of this is going to get better. You just got to give yourself time. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to make a long video. I'm actually really hungry, but I wanted to at least make a video. I haven't made one in a few days. Just so you guys know, I've been experiencing pause a little bit post-acute withdrawal syndrome. I think I touched on that a little bit earlier. It's not permanent. I want you all to understand that this is a very temporary thing. They say that pause can last up to 2 years. I want you to not look at it in terms of up to 2 years. You know, exercise will allow you to heal a lot quicker. Eating right is going to allow your body to heal a lot quicker. And recognizing that these are just normal symptoms and it's a normal process. And, you know, recognizing that the less stress you expose yourself to, and I'm not just talking about external stress, I'm talking about if you're putting pressure on yourself to do all of this stuff, you're stressing yourself out. Give yourselves a break. You know, it is what it is. You made mistakes. You got addicted to something. You're trying to get unaddicted. The more pressure you put on yourself, the less adept you're going to be at being able to manage and get through this. You've got to give yourselves a break. I cannot stress that enough. Anyway, y'all, you can do this. Y'all are victors, not victims. You guys can get through this. It doesn't have to be so scary. It is not easy, but it is definitely worth it in the end. Today's day 30, Suboxone withdrawal, and I feel pretty good. You know, it's not a perfect science. It's not going to be perfect every day. You know, sometimes it changes from minute to minute for me. I have to roll with the punches. And again, my eyes are on the prize. And the prize is my freedom. I am mostly free at this point, and I realize that every day is going to get better. Not every day is going to be perfect. And if I sit there and try to make it perfect, then I'm putting unnecessary, undue pressure on myself. So just give yourselves a break. Anyway, I'm going to eat something, and I'm going to watch a little bit of television, and I'm going to sack out. Anyway, y'all have a great night, and I will make another video soon. Take care, guys.